Hello, this is Crystal Marshall from MarshallArtStudioPhotography.com, and today we're going to talk about a secret ancient trick that photographers and painters and artists have used for thousands of years to make their photos look more interesting. So stay tuned. Alright, so here we are. We have a little bucket of photos I'm going to show you. So for the longest time, the rule of thirds, which looks like this, it's basically an imaginary grid that you have on your photos, and here it has 9 little rectangles or little squares, and imagine that you put your subject on 1/3 to the side, or 1/3 to this side, or 1/3 above, or 1/3 below. So that's been kind of the go-to rule of thumb for making your photos look more interesting for a long time. Especially during the Renaissance, this was kind of the biggest thing to say. Here's another example of that in use. As you can see, this is some giraffes at the zoo I took about a month ago. So the reason it's more interesting is this imaginary grid called the rule of thirds. Okay, so that's been kind of the go-to standard, but what I'm going to talk about today is a hidden secret that a lot of people don't know about. Okay, so way back, during the time of Plato, the time of ancient Greeks and ancient Romans, mathematicians discovered that a lot of things in this world has a certain ratio, a certain mathematical formula to why things are pleasing. So a lot of things, a lot of ancient Greek statues were built on this principle, this formula of this perfect ratio. A lot of the ancient Roman architecture was built in this certain thing, kind of like pi, but it's called phi. So phi, P-H-I, is kind of like the golden ratio, what looks good. So a lot of, for example, the nautilus, the shell, has this particular ratio in it. A lot of things we see in nature, the universe, apparently spirals that you see in nature. So a lot of things throughout the course of nature and the galaxy have this golden ratio that makes it a beautiful thing. So you could use the same principle in photography, in your art. For example, this is a bride I took about a month ago. Now, she's not exactly in the rule of thirds because the line where you see her eye is a little bit off of the rule of thirds. But how does this work with the golden spiral? So here would be the golden spiral, or the golden ratio, and as you see, her body is within the arch of the golden spiral. Let's see this again. So here's my kids on the swing. It doesn't exactly fit in the rule of thirds, but how is it more pleasing to the eye? Because it fits in the golden spiral. You see here their bodies arch around in this imaginary arch that your mind and your eye does as you're looking around the photo. Okay? All right, let's see if you can see it in here. Can I rotate it? Yes, I can. I'm going to try to rotate it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so do you see the golden spiral in this photo? Let's see if you can. Do you see it coming around here to their faces? This photo would be incorrect in the rule of thirds because they should be over here, up here. But in the golden spiral, that's what it works. So let me show you here. Let's see if we were right here. Okay, see how the golden spiral takes your eye around to them? I love that. And we're going to do probably one more. Let's see, which one should I do? So this would be an example of that natural spiral that you're going to see in nature. This was at the zoo the other day. So here you go. We have the golden spiral. Okay, so how does that relate to something that you can do? So if you're outside just taking photos of your kids, or just taking photos around the park or doing something that you're doing, try not to have your subject right in the middle of the frame. It could be a little bit more interesting if you just scoot it over about a foot either direction or above or below, just to give some more space in your photo. That can be a really quick tip to help you compose your photo in a way that's more pleasing. And plus, as a bonus, you can save room on the photo for text. And that's what I do with a lot of my photos that have a lot of that empty space. I use it for my blog, and I put, words on the side. I put scripture verses, or I put some encouraging words. So those are some great tips for you. How can you use the golden spiral for composing your photos? Well, you can look around you and begin to see some of the natural arches that we have. For example, maybe a staircase that's swirling down, a puddle that makes ripples. So there's a lot of beautiful things that make this motion in a photo. So that's just a quick tip for you, how to use rule of thirds, how to use a golden spiral to make your photos more interesting, more intriguing, and I hope that was educational for you, and thank you very much. Hello, this is Crystal Marshall from MarshallOatStudiosPhotography.com. Hello, this is Crystal Marshall from MarshallOatStudiosPhotography.com.